This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. We began at verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And his soul is talking about this red Hebrew Edomite, Esau Edom. But the just, who are the just, you know, the men and the women of the hopeful elect. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. When you go into the wine, it's his philosophies. Isn't this the man that came up with the whole doctrine of do as thou wilt, do what feels good, as opposed to following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua? And the thing is, he is basically hoodwinked and bamboozled our people. Jake, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, because you are the only ones that can transgress the laws, statutes, and commandments because you were given them. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. When you go in the book of Obadiah, it tells you about the pride of this man is lifted up. Talks about the pride of his heart. Who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death, because he cannot be sated. He's always, because he's such a carnal individual, he's always looking to increase. That's why he's not happy with, he got all the money, all the wealth, all the riches, all the land, all the best of everything, and yet still he's still not satisfied. So, he will just keep on consuming. That's a cancer. I can't think of the name of that movie. It was a movie where I think it was called Virus, matter of fact. It was an alien being, and not to give up the story or the plot of the story too much, but basically the alien was saying that, human beings, but he was talking to all Edomites. He said, basically that y'all are cancer. He said there's another life form on the planet that just, he said basically y'all could continue to consume until you destroy the same thing that's benefiting you. You move to an ecosystem and then you consume until you overtake that system. He said there's another creation on the planet that operates in that fashion. He said a virus. And this red Hebrew Edomite is a virus. He said, but gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. And that's why he's such, he has that God complex. He wants to control, you know, when you go into the history and you think about it, Xerxes didn't, Cyrus and Xerxes and, and other captivities, they allowed us to still worship our our powers. It was when you got to Antiochus, know, that, you had to follow and worship the way he wanted you to worship. Couldn't worship Yahweh, because this man has a God complex. Point is in verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And when we go into that thick clay is that debt, because when you go into the monetary system in America, it's based on, debt. It's a fiat currency. It's not based on actual real money. It's based on debt. That's why it's a debt-based system. That's why they'll give you, with a salary of 50,000, they'll give you a brand new car, and they'll give you a $200,000 house and a $30,000 car, and you can just pay and lease on this. And it's really amazing when you take time to think about it. You got people that pay off college debt and pay off their homes after 30, 40 years of struggling to pay it. Now, it's just deep. So I saw the title of this and just moved my spirit. It's not very long. And you supposed to already be understanding that this is what's coming. At first they didn't want to speak on it. Now they can't help but speak on it, because you're seeing this at the grocery stores. You're seeing all these goofy, foolish ass people that took part in this holiday, which I don't think a lot of Edomites did, though. I know a lot of stupid ass Jake did. I was listening to guys at my job now talking about, my kids enjoyed it and all this other shit. And I'm just, certain times I get to the point, certain things I just don't even reply or add my 2 cents. I just, you got it. At the end of the day, I guarantee you a lot of Edomites didn't. you could see the spirit of this place. Like this was not, you know, that mirthful spirit of happiness that people get. You know, like you could just see, like it shit was dead. So call Loyam La Yahba Shimon Shah that he's destroying this place. Your groceries are about to get even more expensive in 2022. Researchers estimate prices will rise. Researchers estimate food prices will rise 5% in the first half of next year. As inflation surges to levels not seen in decades, as the supply chain disruptions continue to present challenges, food manufacturers are preparing to raise prices across a broad range of products in 2022. A report on Monday from the Wall Street Journal cited data from research firm IRI that estimates a 5% rise in food prices in the first half of next year. If you think grocery prices are already through the roof, brace yourself because this means that you can expect the trips to the supermarket to become even more expensive in the new year. Prices for pretty much everything from staples like dairy products, bread and produce to candy, snacks, mustard, and alcohol are expected to jump in 2022, according to the supermarket executives the journal spoke with. Contributing factors include higher labor, packaging, shipping, logistics, costs for supermarkets and manufacturers, ultimately leading to you paying more at the register. IRI didn't immediately respond to the request for comment. Earlier this month, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that the Consumer Price Index saw a 6.8 rise in November from a year earlier, which represents the largest yearly increase since 1982. So within what, 90, 2000? So in 30 years, because in 30 years, and that's not just systematic, like that's just like when you have recessions and whatnot. Like you may not see the major depressions and recessions like you had the Great Depression and whatnot, but because of the way this economy is, like I think it's like every 7 to 8 years or something, they was having some kind of recession. That's why you had one in like the 80s, the 70s, you know, the 90s, and it may not affect everybody, but I mean, it's just the way this whole system is because it's a false balance. It's a false system. You know, you're taking something that's not real, that's based on made up numbers and whatnot, and then getting things of value. That's witchcraft. We constantly go into it because when you go into that system, that's a system that Esau borrowed from Babylon. The credit system. It says food at home prices saw a 6.4 overall increase over last year, with the price of meats, poultry, fish, and eggs increasing the most at 12.8%. Supermarkets will likely have little choice but to pass the cost on to consumers, which, of course. Meanwhile, cases continue to spike across the country, prompting consumers to buy more groceries to prepare meals at home. This is a whole nother article. But, I'm probably gonna end on that because there was some other ones, but as you can see, it says inflation reached its highest level in nearly 4 decades. Now they just said three, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like the Elder Yashawamba posted. So they said that the CDC literally over exaggerated the number of cases of the homie clown. So how the fuck? It's like they making a joke about this shit, but I can see why they call people sheeple. You got some. You got people that literally was sick taking the first dose and went and got the second one. Like your brain is so fucked up. You didn't even think like this. I wasn't sick until I took this. A child would recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Like children just. So are you smarter than a fifth grader? Let me get this scripture. So at the end of the day, this is inevitable. Because it's all scriptural. Uh, it talks about, like I said, false balances being an abomination. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want that yet. I can get that Haggai though. Because at the end of the day, what this is going to lead to, you got certain people now are not all in the same financial situation. That's why you got all that crime that's happening in LA and New York and New Jersey. You got certain people that don't have to take part in that or not being affected by it as much, but Because you got people that are, they set it up so beautifully. You got places like California, they're still giving out stimulus, and then you got other states that are not. So it's like now all of a sudden Biden's talking about allowing each state to basically choose how they're going to proceed with the whole new variant and how they want to deal with mandates and whatnot. Which you like the brother whose channel is Bakar Moth made the statement. He said you got to question. Okay, you've been pushing this so heavy, going to courts. I mean, federal court. You know, all these different things, and then you just lean back at the last ass in second. That don't. You got to question things like that. This is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because you got a lack of workers. You got a lot of people that's frustrated. You got people that's just walking off the jobs. Uh, that's one of the reasons supposedly for the supply chain shortage. And this is nothing new. Everything was already lightweight, coming to a halt and a crumble. And then, but the thing is this, they already knew that. You people just so like simple that y'all didn't get it. You know what I mean? Like the elder Malcolm from Chicago, the head of Chicago, always speaks on. He said he always brings out that all this did was really cover up the retail apocalypse that was happening. You had a lot of businesses failing, and to cover that up, and in the midst of this, they still figured out a way to bleed this bitch for some more money before it's completely over with. People don't even know how many little ways. You got all kind of stimulus for homeowners and all kind of shit. Now, mind you, they supposed to be so much in debt. It's supposed to be, people ain't working enough, but then you making all these incentives for people to still get paid without having to work. You got a lot of people that was getting the child tax credit stick, where they getting 1,800, 3,600. So, it's like one thing being said and then another thing being done. And the thing is, eventually, like the way that the grocery stores work is only so much food. So the when the price of goods go up higher, but you got people that can't afford them, then that's gonna be a lack of food for certain people, right? you know, People, like I said, aren't in a very, no matter how much they try to explain it or try to have you believe it, most people don't really, like this red blooded American shit, that been dead. You know what I'm saying? People show you what this place really founded on. Some selfish ass, evil, wicked ass people, You really gonna see what the Lord do what he about to do. Let me get this Haggai. This is Haggai chapter 1, verse 6. It says, Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. And that was one of the curses of Jake, but that's applying to all the Babylonians, because everything, because of the inflation. That was, like I said, one of the curses of Jake, you know what I mean? Because this is not our rest. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is, the Lord deals with whom he deals with accordingly how he chooses to. So yeah, you got people of our nation that literally came here and are wealthy. But then sometimes I question and look back at, like, you got certain entertainers that died poor as fuck or died like miserable, that had to stay on, like Richard Pryor. When you really take the time to think about his life, like that, the man was so depressed, the man tried to kill himself by burning himself up. And they say he didn't try and do it. They said it, like when you watch the movie JoJo Dancer, it literally say that he was fiending and he thought it was a crack rock and he did smoke like fiend shit. But I watched this documentary and one of his best friends literally said, like one of his bodyguards slash best friends said that ain't what happened like that. He said literally he saw some shit on TV back in the day when them what did they call it? Like them them Christian monks or the monks, how they was protesting the war, so they would burn themselves up. He said he watched that. He said literally Richard Pryor looked at it. He said, man, you know how strong you got to be to do that shit, and went and burnt himself up. He said next thing you know, he saw a streak of fire running down the hallway because he was depressed. He had, Like at the end of the day, like anyhow, you know, our people have been hit with these curses, but now you got, like I said, the average everyday Babylonian slash American is catching hell. Most people, like I said, literally go in debt trying to please these little monsters for real. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, most of the gifts that most people wanted, you couldn't get. So, like I said, and now you got the cost of certain shit more expensive. The only thing that's not as expensive that will really be kicking everybody ass right now is if you had to pay for gas right now. And that's why Biden broke his neck to make sure gas wasn't that expensive right now. Because everything else went up. So that show you they manipulate the markets right there. Because I was alive and I remember when Bush had this shit at like 550. Remember that shit? And then out of the blue, Bush and them buy fucking acres and acres of land after they get out of the White House and all that. Salakia for the digression. So at the end of the day, for those that trust in this system, it tells you in the book of Jeremiah and Psalms about curses the man that trusteth in man, and uh, about it's Psalms that say man put it. I gotta find it now because I'm butchering it. Let me find it real quick. Psalms 118, I think it is 108. I think popped in my head and popped out. Ain't that 108? I think it's 108 and 50. Nope. I think it's might be 118. Maybe 118. Yeah, it's 118. It says it's better, 118 and 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than put confidence in princes. So all those, and a lot of people ain't putting confidence in Biden, but they putting confidence in this so-called white man literally making everything like it used to be. And Jake has never like really, even those that actually have things here. Like I was listening to the guy Fetty Watt. He said at one point in time he had 22 million in his bank account. But you take him around the average Edomite, he can call him a nigga. You know, like this man probably so oblivious to what the fuck going on. Cause I'm watching it. When you really take the time to see about, like literally they shut down, partying to a degree, but they didn't though. Like they really, when you pay attention to what they did, they said in order for you to do these things still, you got to do this. And most people so in love with the world, they did. Like, and then when you take time to think about it, like the whole spirit of like just is dead. So why would you even, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on, like you go. I'm listening to some music. Drake got a song. Basic girls. I like girls that like girls. Like this, how wicked this shit getting. Like, I'm on here. So at the end of the day, for those putting their trust and faith in this Edomite and this system, you a fool. Like they changing the system in your face. Like I say, this book of James chapter, and then show you how simple motherfucker is too. Gold has always. I remember at one point that's why most niggas would go buy gold when they got some money. You know what I'm saying? Now they like, oh, cryptocurrency, so made up dollars. If that ain't no witchcraft, James 5:3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Because they're going to show they corrupted. You know what I mean? Well, something that's rusted is worthless. It's vain. And it's going to be vanity and worthlessness to put your trust in that. Yeah. Most people don't got no real gold or silver or nothing like that. Because people, like I said, trusted in cryptocurrency. Some shit that they could give you and take away that immediately. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. As it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. You got some that's trying to heap their treasures for the last days, but you got a lot of people that's just trusting in this system. And like I said again, this system is crumbling. Like I say, And the way that they got this set up, I mean, this is a piece of information that you can go research on your own because you got these stupid ass people with stupid ass opinions. You know, yeah, yeah. It's just like man. I can't wait for the Lord to start judging people. You know, at the end of the day, every economy that dealt with a fiat currency crashed. So what the fuck do you make you think that America is so much that they just not gonna get when you watching it crash now? If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Loyim La Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rachak, with us Rakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, the great millstone, do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Wath, Shalom.